Hey guys, welcome to lesson 59. Okay, what you need to look at first is example 1 and 2 we're not going to do. When they're straightforward and direct, it's just like finding, it's just like finding an equation of a line. Any equation of a line, anytime, siempre, okay? So there's nothing new to learn there. But then they put it where the lines go like halfway through the boxes and you have to estimate a decimal number. And to me, it doesn't make any sense that you're gonna learn that because you would never ever guess if you were in the line of work where you needed to use those kinds of graphs, what they call scatter plots, you would never guess your slope and you would never guess your point. You would use computer generated equations of lines to make sure that you are accurate. So it doesn't make any sense why we're gonna spend time today and any day guessing what the slope is and guessing if your answer is right, because you're never going to be guessing exactly like they are, so there's no point in doing those. Which means that you don't need to do practice A, you don't need to do number 6 on your homework. Okay, and anytime you see those scatter plots, we're just going to skip them because it's not effective to learn them. Okay, so we're going to skip into example 3, where what they're doing here is they're telling you what you can do if you see that you need to solve for x and y with two equations that have completely different formats, because this one is in fraction format and then this one is in decimal format. And I can imagine you could guess what you think you need to do. What do you think you need to do if they're in two different formats? Think about it. Put them into the same format, right? And what is the same format that would work for both of those? Whole numbers, because if you saw this fraction, you put it into a whole number format. If you saw these decimals, you put it into a whole number format. So how are we going to do that? Well, on example 1, on this part, the A one, I'm going to find the common denominators, 2, 5, and 5, so the common denominator is going to be 10. I'm going to put that up here, 10, 10, 10. So down here, I'm going to have this is 5x. This is 2 times 3y is 6y. And then 2 times -2 is -4. Okay, that's my whole number format for that one. Then this one, I'm going to move the decimal place 2 times. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's going to be 6x minus 20y equals 104. And then I can solve for my x and for my y. This one is nasty looking because you're going to have to do a lot of different stuff for elimination. So I'll make this, we're going to eliminate our x's with 30. So this will be -6 and this will be +5, okay? Then we're going to write them down again. So this will be -30x, -36y equals 24. Don't forget to distribute that -6 over the -4 on the other side of the equal sign. It's very easy to forget that. 5 times 6 is 30x. Minus 120y equals 5 times 104 would be, I don't have my calculator with me, 520. Okay, eliminate our x's. We get negative 156y equals 564. It almost doesn't look right? Let's see. Let us see. Oop, it's 544. Great. Okay, let's just go find our error. 5 times 20 is 100. That's going to be 136. Now we have it right. Negative 136y equals 544, so y equals -4. Right? Okay, then we can put that into one of the original equations. I'm going to put that into here for -24. So it's going to be 5x minus 24 equals -4. I add my 24 here. That's going to be 20. 5x equals 20, so x equals 4. So 4 is x and negative 4 is y. They usually put it in this format right here to give you the answer, okay? And so that's the only one they're gonna give you there because there's not much to practice. It's just put it in both of the equations into whole number format and then solve like always, like normal. Okay, now we're gonna go into a totally different concept in example 4. Okay guys, look at example 4. You're used to this format because you're used to getting the answer in this format. This is called polar form for your sine, cosine, tangent problems, okay? We have been going from rectangular form to polar form. This is your rectangular form, perdón. This is your rectangular form. We've been going from polar form to rectangular form. This is your rectangular form. Now we're gonna go backward. Go rectangular form to polar form. And if you're like, wait, it's just, I don't understand the names. It doesn't matter if you understand the names or not. Look, I already got them wrong. If you see one and they say convert it to the other form, then you know what the other form is, right? Okay, so how do you do this? This one's actually, I don't know if you can say like easier, okay? But it is straightforward and direct, okay? On how you get your answer. Okay, so when you see this, you go negative 5r, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's negative 5 this way. Then down 1, 2, 3, because it's negative 3 up. So then you're gonna have your line go like that, okay? When you have that, you have negative 5 here and negative 3 here. Remember, you're looking for the angle right here, and you also need to know your hypotenuse, okay? The hypotenuse is gonna be the easy part. Negative 5 squared, because a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? Negative 3 squared equals c squared, so it's gonna be 25 plus 9 equals c squared, which will be 34. Square root 34 is gonna be your hypotenuse. And then in order to find your angle, you're gonna look at, you have opposite and you have adjacent, okay? Remember, SOHCAHTOA, that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So you have tangent. So you're gonna write your equation like this. Tan x equals opposite, which is negative 3, over adjacent, which is negative 5. Okay, so that's 3/5. Then remember, what's that gonna be? It's gonna be the inverse tan, okay? The inverse tan. So you're gonna go shift tan, okay, shift, and then your tan, parentheses, negative 3 over negative 5, which is 3/5. 3 divided by 5. Okay, like that. Hit equal, and your angle is going to be 30.96. 30.96. Okay. That is not your answer though. Because why? Look at it. 30.96. That's over here. If you just put 30.96 as your answer, you guys, let's say you put that as your answer. Let's say you have you have square root 34 and then 30.96. Just looking at this and not knowing any of this, where would you put that angle? If you looked at this form first and you were gonna check your answer that it made sense, where would you put that angle? You put it over in this quadrant, you go 30. Oop, 30.96 is right there. So how are you gonna give me an angle to get you all the way over here? Well, first you have to pass through 180. So you're gonna do 180 plus 30.96. Okay, which is gonna be 210.96, and that is gonna be your answer. Okay, because you gotta get it to where it's into the quadrant that you need it to be in. Okay, if you don't understand that, I'm sure it'll make even more sense when we get into the practice letter C, even though I'm looking at it and it looks like it's going to put you in the same quadrant. So it's going to be about the same kind of practice that you just got right now. Let me see if there's another one in your homework's going to be about the same quadrant. So you'll be able to follow this habit to understand your homework today. But if you don't understand the logic behind it, text me and we can talk about it, okay? Go ahead and try your practice B and C, and we'll see if you got the answers right. Okay guys, the answer to letter A is 3 for x and letter B. 3 for x and negative 5 for y. Because in order to make these fractions into the whole number format, we need to multiply by 21. So we get 7x plus 6y, because 21 divided by 7 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6y. Over here, 21 divided by 7 is 3, so 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Then you have over here, you're going to move the decimal place 2 times, so it's 1x minus 60y. Be careful on that one because you need to move it 2 times still. So it's 60y and then 303 over here. In order to eliminate, I multiply by negative 7x, so you get negative 7x plus 420y equals negative 2,121. When you add this equation up here to this equation up here, you eliminate your x's and you get 426y equals negative 2,130. When you divide those two out, you get y equals negative 5. I plugged in negative 5 for y here. 7x plus negative 30 equals negative 9. And I got x is 3. So that's your answer for this one. Over here, this is a lot like the example. I put my negative 3 here, I put my negative 5 here, draw my line. So these are going to be my opposite is negative 5 and my adjacent is negative 3 to get my angle. So the angle is going to be shift tan parentheses 5 over 3 because the negatives cancel out and you get 59 as your angle. Your hypotenuse is 3 squared plus 5 squared because the negatives don't count if you're squaring it equals c squared. So again, it's square root 34. Okay, but remember you can't just leave the angle as 59 because you have to cross all the way over here first. So it's 180 plus 59, which will give you 139. No, 239. Okay. And then if you check in the back of your book, that'll be your answer right there. Okay, if you guys have any questions about that, especially about the whole why is it 239 and not 59, then text me and we'll go over it a little bit more in detail. Thank you. Have a good day.